Okay, welcome to the Fraser Park Public Utility District regular, why does it say regular state planning? Oh,
Because it is.
oh yeah, regular state planning and project meeting agenda Thursday, April 24th, 2025. We are starting at 4:01 p.m. We're called to order. Can we all stand for pledge of allegiance to the flag? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks. Roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg?
Yeah.
Okay, Director Garcia is absent. Director Gibson?
Here.
Director Kelly?
Here.
And Director Nyman is here. So we do have a quorum. To discussion, vote, adjust agenda if necessary. D, do we need to go into the closed session? Is there any additional updates that we need to go in closed session for?
There we go. Just for a minute, just to update status. That's all.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, not hearing any changes. We'll go on to number 3. There is no additional teleconference location tonight. On number 3, public comments. Is there any public comments? Not hearing any. We'll go on to 4, manager's report.
I got nothing. Everything's good.
Okay, and then, managers report A, administrative assistant report.
Since it's not on the agenda, we got our .gov and it's actually already been implemented. So if you go to FraserParkWater.com, it reroutes you. Same website, it just reroutes you. We're Fraser Park PUDCA.gov.
Okay.
So now that that's in place, we can work on getting our email. So it would be your name at FraserParkPUDCA.gov. There's 2 ways to go, either Google Workplace or Microsoft 365. It's like $16 per user, but I don't know if that means per person who has an email or per person who is using, because each user gets like a desktop version of 365 like on Microsoft. So I just have to clarify that so we know how many users and what it'll cost.
Okay.
But for 10 people at $16, that's $160 a month.
Can I add something to that? I'm gonna change our formatting for emails to J. Allison instead of Johnny A. Because it's been nothing but a nightmare the way my name has been spelled for the last all these years. People
Okay.
misspell it to add an H and then I don't get the email. So I don't know if we all want to do that. Go with
That's fine.
just first initial and then last name or what you want to do. But
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine with me.
cool.
I know mine is my first name, last initial.
Yeah, and I don't want to go that route anymore. You
Well,
guys
we
can do it your way too.
we should probably always do it the same way. First initial, last name.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
cool.
Okay. Is that it?
You'll let us know when everything changes.
Yeah,
We have to
I need to get more information on the pricing and stuff because we do already pay for some version of Microsoft 365. So if it's just an upgrade, because we have to have all that stuff anyway, that would probably be the better route to go over like Google Workspace, or Workplace, or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Quick question.
Lisa, question.
Will we be able to route our old emails to
I can
migrate stuff?
ask them. That'll be one of the questions.
Obviously, we'd be
Yeah.
able to with Google Workspace, but I don't know if we can do
But
that.
I know that on the Gmails, you could leave a message saying, here's my new address, and you could also forward your emails from Gmail to the new one.
It doesn't forward that I know of to micro, Gmail's really weird with forwarding, it will forward.
Okay, I think
figure it
we'll have to put this on the agenda. and
More
discuss
information.
More information to come.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Okay, 5, standing, committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, and, everything went fine. We asked Deborah to cut checks, so we'll talk about everything in financial.
Okay, state update committee meeting, state update meeting committee. Well, it's all gonna be covered under most items, so we can just talk about that then. Is there a quarterly financial committee?
Yes, there was, we met, we finished, the quarter and, we believe everything is up and correct and, so we'll see how next time goes.
Okay. All right, number 6, ad hoc committee reports. Planning project committee, we did not meet. Meter well project committee, we did not meet. Easement and deeds committee,
We
did
have
not
not met,
meet.
no, did not meet,
Standby fee committee,
did not
did
meet,
not meet. Okay, rate study committee did not meet.
did not meet.
Okay, T-Mobile lease committee,
We met, we sent emails back and forth, and tonight we have to make a decision on which route
okay,
we want
so
to
we'll
go.
talk about it on that item. Okay, moving right on. Okay, we're on to financial business. Number 7, discuss vote on accounts payable, and financial information. Okay,
You want me to do it? We cut,
if you want to.
we cut 11 checks for a total of $9,484.08. There were no extraordinary, disbursements. Everything was pretty much normal. No surprises.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for us to pay our bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion, has been made and Terry Kelly has, seconded it. We'll call our directors. Director Schoenberg. Okay, Director Garcia is absent. Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Kelly.
Aye.
And Director Nyman is an aye. Motion carried 4-0, absent. Okay, moving on to number 8, discussion vote on credit card fees.
When we did our quarterly, one of the things that we noticed was, if you look at your little notice thing, that the credit card fees have been going up. They've about doubled in the last, 3 years. And I asked Deborah to print this out so that we can discuss or figure out if we want to raise the fee or if we are just gonna continue to, in-house take the hit. So I don't know what you guys,
What is our current fee?
$2 if you pay in the office, $2.50 if you pay online.
I would do like, ATMs do, or it's $3.
Yeah.
And it's not like people don't have the option of doing it a different way. I mean, we're a very
Right.
small town. It's easy to drop off a bill if you don't wanna pay the $3.
So, is there any, I mean, it's showing that we're over $5,000 in the whole on the fees.
Well, yeah, I mean, like last year it was 5,600, now it's 5,900, so we're $300 more than we were last year.
Yeah,
So, but that would be what, a 50% or 50-cent increase on the two, so it'd be $2.50 for in here and 3 for online.
I mean, and it's not that we're making money off of it.
Oh, no.
I mean, you know, so it's not,
Money.
well, right now, we're losing money, and that's where I was like, we needed to kind of discuss this and figure out what the company wanted to do.
Director Schoenberg?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you guys figure out what amount would get us in a break-even point?
No.
Or how much we're getting back? Where does it say that? Because it says 5,900 in fees, but where does it say how much we recouped on fees? Isn't that a different
At
category?
the beginning of the financial,
It shows in the, you got the financials. On the packet that I gave you, it'll show you.
It
on there.
shows, okay, so it shows an expense of 5,950, but the total income from that was 4,342.
Right,
So last year, we had a negative $1,607.97.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
right. So,
Director Schoenberg?
Well, suggest, I can barely talk, before we vote on this, that we look into what amount would get us at break even. If it's too much, then just back it off somewhere, but let's at least know what that is.
Put it on the next agenda so we can do the math.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
yes.
I guess Deborah would be able to know how to figure that out.
I would think so.
But I don't know how to figure that out.
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Well,
spot on, but close.
and this whole thing never started where we were gonna make money. But I don't know if
No,
we wanna
just don't wanna
continue,
lose
we
this
don't
much
wanna-
money.
continue to lose.
Then you just look at how much we're losing, and then you divide that by how many, average, people use credit cards, and then you divide it by that number, and that's what we're gonna get.
Right. Right.
Okay, well,
But we want people to use credit cards because if they're just bringing in cash or checks, kind of ties up our front desk a little bit, right?
Well, kind of, I mean, Tiffany makes bank deposits, and the guys could always do it too, so. I mean, less money we have on hand, the better off we are, but we also can't just be losing money, so.
Right. No, I think I agree with Director Schoenberg that we should have Deborah take a look at it, and then we can come up with either it's gonna be 25 cents or 35 cents. We'll put it up to
Can we put
220.
that-
Yeah, so
We'll
we'll,
put that vote on the next meeting.
yes,
Just to give you about an average, about 500 to 550 pay online every month, and 120 pay in-house every month. It changes, but
roughly.
okay, hold on a second.
So we don't wanna be crazy and go toward $4, but
Hold on. Give me something. Only 200 seconds. See, that's not, and yeah, I mean, if you raise it to $3, we're still gonna be losing, but that you're only adding $300.
You should just make it three bucks across the board then.
So, yeah,
Whether you pay
$3
online.
here and $3.50
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, if we just make it $3, then that'll average it out, that'll make us lose less, because the people that are used to, the people that pay in here will pay the same as online.
Right.
so, so what do you all think? I think maybe $3 across the board. Because I don't wanna, I mean, even if we're still losing some money, I think that's part of just the expense of doing business.
Some,
And I don't,
yeah,
because we're
I
already,
think a dollar difference is not that much, you end up paying at least, like for other companies, it's like $2.50, $3, $3.50, I don't know. I would say $3 and $3.50.
I think $3.50 sounds terrible, even when you go to an ATM, it's only $3 at a liquor store, so $3.50 starts sounding even more.
Why
If
don't,
it's $3 across the board, then the people that normally pay $2, they'll kind of help make up for the people that are paying just a little bit more.
so I think we should go to, why don't we go to $3 and then we can revisit it next year? Or see where we're at in 6 months or something, and we can,
Just vote on it
and
now.
then we can vote on it again if we need to raise the fee. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we raise our credit card fee to $3 in-house and online.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded by Director Gibson. Roll call the directors, Director Schoenberg. Okay, Director Garcia is absent. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Nyman's an aye. 4-0-1 absent. Motion carried. Okay, we're going, into, the closed session. Oral announcement prior to closed session, Government Code 54957.7, parentheses A, a representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9, parentheses D, parentheses 1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus C2C Elite Properties LLC et al. Kern County Superior Court case number BCV-24-100199, and closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, property 256-07054, 256-070-55, and 256-52013. Agency negotiators, Lisa Schoenberg, Brahma Nyman, D. Jasper. Negotiating parties, Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiations, price and terms of payment. So we'll go into closed session at $4.18. Sorry. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Oh. Thank you, bro.
Okay. We are returning from closed session at 4:24. Oral announcement following closed session. Government Code 54957-1, parentheses A, the legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. There is nothing to report at this time. And so we can go ahead and move on to number 11. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. A, discussion vote review of the project timeline and budget. As far as I know, the amendment for the budget and the timeline was approved by Ruben and his boss. And it's that amendment to the agreement has been sent, is being sent up through for signatures for approval.
Mhm. That's, I talked with Ruben today, and that's correct. Brahma, they're just waiting for the last signature actually, and yeah, I think there's a couple of other things. They put together a package once they get the signature from, the management. Then they put together the package that they send to us. And so Ruben's expecting their signature, their management signature to be tomorrow or Monday. And then
Oh, wow.
they'll take a couple of days to put together the package, and then they'll send down the FA to us. So moving on.
That'll be the funding agreement will come to us, that amendment?
Yes, that's the funding agreement and the schedule.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, Ruben has really been an advocate for us and has really pushed this thing through. He really needs a little bit of credit there for him to, he made it happen.
Yeah, we appreciate it because we've been kind of in a holding pattern, so that's good news.
Yes.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we can go on to, B, discussion vote on acquisition and development of well number 8.
The only thing I have is to, I think Johnny, the poster board that the district's going to put up on the property. Did you get it, and how's it look?
I did, it just got put up today and just a little while ago, so I haven't seen it yet, but when I go by there, I'll take a picture and send it to you.
Great, thank you. So that's what's going on with well 8 right now. It's waiting for the judge. We have possession, of course, but then the question is, how much is it going to cost? And that hearing will be scheduled early May sometime. And I mean, that is the hearing that will schedule the hearing. So anyhow, I'm guessing probably sometime in May, we should have a hearing on on the actual value. But, we've got this issue with their attorney. They need an attorney, and if they've not procured one, then there may be further delays.
Okay, moving on to C, discussion vote on acquisition development of well number 9, an additional booster and tank site properties, certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment, and purchase sales agreement.
Just for a second, where's the purchase agreement gonna fall?
Right there.
I thought you were just talking about T-Mobile right now.
Nope.
No,
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
no,
Nope.
no, we're on number 9. So,
We're on number 11.
so we've received,
Let me get you a dart gun so you can shoot me every time I pay attention.
we've received 2 purchase agreements. One for the property for the Bear Court property. And, then the other purchase agreement, for the well site. Which, includes, what am I trying to say? Includes the easement up the road. Yeah, yes, Director Schoenberg.
Before we vote on this, don't we want a full description on both of these?
Well, that's what I'm
it'd be
saying.
added As an
We could-
attachment, so you
we
could
could
approve
just
the
add it.
attachment.
You could just add it in the motion.
Well, but I don't know how to, because
It's gonna
I
be
guess we
just-
could say, well, Nine site and Bear Court site, but
Right.
I don't know the parameters of,
He's shown us all those descriptions in the past.
yeah, I know.
He's gonna attach those as an attachment to the agreements. So you'll see them again before you sign them, I'm sure, but
Right.
Oh, so we're not signing this tonight?
I think we're
I
just
think-
approving it.
I don't know, I'm not really okay with.
No, well, what I'm-
Well, because I thought that's what we were here to do, is to sign this tonight, to approve it.
You can definitely do that.
Huh?
You can do that, but there are some dates that we need to put in to that.
Right.
It may be that you'll want the full board to do that, I'm not sure, but it is, they're in agreement. The sellers
I'm
are,
sorry, Dee.
And I'm not okay with it not being attached.
We said it's not ready yet anyway, so when the dates get added, we'll have the attachment, and then you guys can sign it.
Okay, so we're in agreement that D, you're going to go ahead and add the description to each one, and then you'll forward that to the ad hoc committee,
right,
to Director Schoenberg and myself. And then, we'll say it's okay, and then we'll have it for the next, regular meeting, for signature. And are we in agreement that we want a 30-day escrow?
I would think so.
Yeah, 30 days, yeah.
Okay, so that way it can all get filled out and with the proper dates and everything, so we'll make, our plan is to approve the, agreement and sign it on the next regular meeting.
okay,
And I have one question, which is that needs to be done, I mean, through a notary. Oh, do we pay for that, or is that something that the escrow company does?
you mean, what is it you're referring to, Terry, the signatures?
The
in
notary.
The notary stuff,
The notary,
that's part of the packet,
we,
so
I don't know, let me look and see if these need to be
They have
notarized.
to go to the sign it,
Yes.
or they come here.
well, that's what I was
Well, if
wondering.
you sign it here, we have Jackie or Joe, no,
Yeah, there's,
Jackie, there's a notary up here that'll come to us for sure.
yeah,
Same years.
Well, that's what I'm saying, are we gonna have to,
Yeah, it's only
To
like
do that.
$15 for a notary.
I'm not sure about
I
that
just did
on,
one years ago, it's $15.
there's,
And
On
years ago,
property?
you're paying just for the signature, any other fees is totally different, the notary is gonna be the set amount, which is gonna be
Okay.
15, or the most $20 for the notary.
yeah.
They can't charge any more.
We need the whole escrow packet, so at that point.
well, that's what I'm saying, yeah, there should be a whole escrow thing, packet thing.
Once we, once we sign this purchase and sale agreement, and Alan has not included the need for a notary. I don't think we need to, but we can. We sign a lot
Well,
of.
it's in here,
Is it?
there's a
in-
notary page 14.
Okay,
I've always had.
So- so then-
Page 14 is, there's
That's what
it
it's
needs
all
a
recorded.
notary.
oh, there we go. Okay, I didn't see it. And so, yeah, you pay for the notary. It's not a big expense, but you pay for it.
Okay, so then,
So and they pay for their own notary?
They would
I
pay
mean-
for their own. Or you
So
could join.
we would sign the agreement with a notary, and then the agreement would then be sent to them, and they would sign the agreement with, and they'd have to have their own notary.
Yes,
Okay,
or you could do it together.
Or
and-
have one notary and we can all do it here if we wanted to.
yeah, well, if they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll, go on to, there's no other questions.
one-
We'll go,
Uh,
anything else, Dee?
Yes, I just wanted to make one comment. The, the easements that will be required to run the pipeline all the way to the highway in front of the properties in that public utility easement that's in there 30 feet wide. We will need to negotiate. We already have them appraised, pretty small really for each property, but we'll have to negotiate with each one of those owners and say, okay, we need an easement and that's this much square footage and, you know, and pay them
And
for
what
it.
happens if somebody doesn't wanna give us an easement?
Well, we have to threaten them with eminent domain, but normally people are not going to do that. As I understand it, most of the people along here would like to have service from us. So I think they're gonna welcome
Yeah,
us.
we're not going, we're going down the drive road.
Right, we're going down.
That helps. If you're going through somebody's backyard, you get more pushback, I think, that way, so.
Yeah, okay. Just a question. Try to look out for everything.
Yep.
Okay, and, is there anything else going on with this, certificate of compliance? Lot line adjustment, is there anything that we need to do currently, or is things in the works, or
It's,
is that gonna wait until we, actually have purchased the property?
yes, once we purchase it, then we can get with Jeff and Emily. You know, it's already mapped. And so all the other documentation that is required for a lot line adjustment will have to be provided, you know, title reports, probably an updated title report for, you know, by the time we get to that point. Maybe not, but there's a list of things that we have to do for a lot line adjustment, the mapping and the legal descriptions are already done, so that's the major part. The rest of it's just detail we have to take care of with the county.
Okay, okay, we'll go on to, D, discussion vote on LAFCO work review and sign documents.
I sent over some Bud Rice's a request for some signatures on some documents that they need. I think the president of the board has to sign. And I uploaded 3 reports for their review. They wanted, you know, they're doing some sort of their own review to, you know, determine whether or not, you know, it can adjust the sphere of influence. Kind of surprised me, but anyway, we already have all that documentation prepared and I uploaded the links to the reports for LAFCO, so they've got that. There's probably going to some, you know, as we go through the process, there'll be a few things I think that we may have to provide that they haven't mentioned yet. But they were talking about, you know, a hearing in May or June, I think. So pretty quick. It'll be, you know,
Yeah, I don't see those documents in our packet today.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
They're in there.
underneath the,
Under 11.
under 11, but under,
Mine's under 11, there's nothing on
no,
that.
where's your other 2 documents for the,
Oh, is,
they probably got stuck in there. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
oh. Okay. So. Do we have, are there any questions on these documents or? So where it says proposing proceedings for, that would be, sphere of influence is gonna go in that spot D?
Yes. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find this
and then,
from Bud.
well, where's, Tiffany?
She's in her office at the moment.
Oh. Did we
Do
do?
we have to do a 218?
No,
No. Not for this.
yeah, this is just basically, uh, uh, protecting them.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I think, um, so Tiffany will have to do a resolution on this.
I think you
Because,
should.
because it shows right here. So it says, whereas applicant has requested LAFCO file, process and approve his application proceedings for, and I guess we need to put in sphere of, however you want to word, how we're supposed to word that, sphere of influence. Change of described in the resolution, application resolution number, you know. So we need to put together a resolution.
Right. So that needs,
So,
very simple one too. I mean, it shouldn't be a, you know, very wordy, but it's for the adjustment of the sphere of influence. That's
okay.
for the real.
And where did we get the agreement number?
I believe they assign that. When we send that in, I think they assign that. I can check that out with Bud Rice. But I'm pretty sure it's, you know, their agreement, we're agreeing to do what they said.
Because we can't sign this and send this in until we have to, so we're gonna have to do a resolution, so that means that next meeting, we'll have to do a resolution and approve the resolution, and at that time, we can approve this, but we need to have this filled out with the resolution number. But I would, so if you could find out from Bud Rice at LAFCO about the agreement number.
I
Are they
will.
gonna provide it prior to us signing this? Or do we sign it without an agreement number on there and then it gets sent to them and they assign one and sign theirs?
I believe that's how that is too.
Yeah,
He said he'll
because
check.
the executive officer has to, you know, assign the thing, and we sign it. And then, the attorney for the applicant, Alan, has to sign it. And then the final signature would be Blair Knox's signature as the executive officer. And I'm pretty sure at that point in time, then they assign the agreement number. It's a LAFCO number, but I'll verify that. So, you know, that this needs to be routed to Alan. If you want me to do that, I will do so. And then we need to, you know, just fill out the form and come up with a very brief resolution.
Okay, so you're gonna work on that resolution?
No, do you have a template? Have you seen one of these before, resolutions?
No, but you know, it is just, I believe we can get it right off the LAFCO website, Tiffany.
Okay,
And maybe that's describes resolution of application. Resolution number, yeah, let me dig into that just a little bit, make sure we're getting the right forms and
Yeah, so if you could, check that out, Dee, and then get with Tiffany so that we can have a resolution for the next regular meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna, yes, I will.
And then I guess at that time, we can approve this document. Is there anything else that we need to discuss on this? Does anybody
Not-
have any other questions?
I have a question for you, Brahma. This is Joan. Could I get a copy of the FPPUD's application that they submitted to LAFCO, the supporting documents, a copy of the responsive email from LAFCO regarding the application, and then a copy of whatever it is that you're sending back with whatever supporting documents, please?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't see any problem with that at all. I can forward the application to you.
Well, Dee will have to get you that information, Joan, because
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
Joan, could you go over your list one more time? You want a copy of the LAFCO app?
Yeah, the LAFCO app, any supporting documents that you had to submit with that LAFCO app.
Okay, now, you already have those. Those are the preliminary engineering report, the
Okay,
regional
so,
water supply report and
so
the,
if you just have them listed as to what they are and you've already sent them to me, then they're, just list what they are. That way you're not having to send those twice. That would make that easier. And
Yeah, okay.
then LAFCO's responsive email as to what they were requesting.
LAFCO's response.
And
Yeah.
then in turn to LAFCO's email to you, what in turn you guys are responding with and any supporting documents that you're submitting.
Yeah, and those will be what we're looking at here, and then the reports that you already have, which I'll list.
Super. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
moving on, to E, discussion vote on memorandum of understanding is tabled. So we'll go on to F, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Hi,
Yes.
Pam, you sound better.
I am so much better. Oh my gosh. So nothing new on the grants. Well, number 4, we did get our samples back from the 7th. So April 7th, we did sampling of iron and manganese for well number 4, and they are increasing. So they went up from under 100 to 170, which is still under the 300 UGLs. So we're still okay. We're just keeping an eye on it. And then iron has gone up to under 30, and that's still under, which is 50 UGLs. So that's the only thing new. Landing station is fine, and I have nothing to report until next week when we do our wells and soundings.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody have any questions, for Pam? Hearing none, we'll go on to G, discussion vote on claim number 53 and other claims and payouts. That's you, Carlos.
Okay, I was revisiting that invoice that we talked about at the state update meeting, and I noticed that it says appraisal details, so I don't know if that was if that's an actual appraisal or if it's something else. So D, can you say what that is more about, or
Well, I think
because it's for 600, it's a charge of $684, so that wouldn't be the appraisal.
no, it's
It
not.
would be some kind of, so maybe this whole invoice should just stay as original as we had said originally, and not switch it to appraisal since it's not the actual appraisal.
Yeah, it's not the actual appraisal. There was some issue with respect to that, but I don't remember.
Okay, because the appraisal was done, I think the appraisal, if that's if that's it, it was done back in claim 49
Yeah,
for 6,500. Is that what the appraisal was?
well, I thought it was more like 5, but 5,000.
Okay, because yeah, in claim
So
49
this is,
we had
this
an
is
appraisal for
invoice,
65. What was that?
invoice 25-00316. Is that the one you're talking about?
The invoice right now?
Yes.
Yeah, 25000316.
What it says here is principal engineer, 1, purchase and sales agreement for well 9 and Bear Court appraisal details.
Okay, so that's the purchase and sales agreement was what that is for. And there was some appraisal details I think that we needed to
Yeah,
look.
so I'm just gonna keep all of this on engineering, consolidation
Consolidation?
engineering. So I'm not gonna switch everything, so the invoice is gonna stay as it, I mean, the claim's gonna stay as is, as original. So
Okay.
we'll go over it right now. For staff recovery costs, board of directors fees, we had $566.66. Staff recovery costs, $72.93. We had that invoice we were just talking about from D Jasper and Associates, invoice 25-00316, and that was for consolidation engineering admin. And that invoice totaled $3,420. We had an old invoice from Tom Donson and Associates from back in September, and that was for environmental work, and that was invoice FP-084-1, and that one totaled $1,190. We had an invoice from D Jasper and Associates, invoice 25-00315, and that was for engineering design work, and that specifically dealt with drafting. And that invoice totaled $2,002. So the total of claim 53 is $7,251.59.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion that we approve claim 53.
I'll make a motion that we approve claim 53 with all the, invoices mentioned by Carlos in the amount of $7,251.59.
Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded by Director Gibson. Roll call of directors, Director Schoenberg. Director Garcia is absent. Director Gibson. Okay, Director Kelly.
Aye.
Okay, Director Nyman's and I. 401 absent, motion carried. Okay, moving on to 12, discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. A discussion vote on claim number 38 and other claims and payouts.
So for claim 38, we have a total of 3 invoices. First invoice is for the Neptune 360 annual subscription and fees. And that invoice came out to $11,800. And then we have an invoice for the meter replacement project coming, and that is coming out of construction management. That is from D Jasper and Associates. And that is invoice number 25-00318. And that is in the amount of $617.80. And then we have another invoice from D Jasper and Associates. This is for the meter replacement project correspondence and closeout documents. This is invoice 25-00319, and that is in the amount of $870.80. and the total for claim 38 is $13,288.60.
I did have a question,
Sure.
because I thought we were doing 2 years subscription on this.
The first year of subscription was already paid for.
This is second year.
This is the second.
Okay, but the date on here, it says annual subscription, it says 6/1/25 to 5/31/25.
Well, I have to look at the email when it was actually gonna be due. Neptune sent me a thing, to give me a heads up. that
Yeah,
it
but
was
what
gonna be
I'm, what I'm saying is the invoice itself, it is, the date is incorrect on here. On what their invoice says,
Should be 26.
because it should be 5/31/26, shouldn't it? Isn't that the second year?
Yeah.
So somebody put 25 on the invoice. The invoice needs to be corrected,
The typo.
because I don't want them coming back and saying, I mean, it's a simple error, but if we're paying 11 grand, I don't want them saying, oh, well, you weren't covered.
Good catch. I didn't catch that. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So then the billing period, now, so the billing period, you put 3/1 to 4/1, I guess, because the bid date was 4/1/25.
Correct. Well, yeah, the date of this document is 4/1/25, so I couldn't do it prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's gonna contact Ferguson and have him correct the invoice?
You want me to send Tyler an email back telling we need a revised invoice?
Do you want me to reach out to him?
If you want to, or I could send an email back and then include you.
Yeah, if you, since he sent it to you initially, Johnny, if you don't mind just reaching out to him and just have him correct that date, and then then I'll include that revised invoice into the claim.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and kind of give them a time frame so that they respond quickly, so that we can get it in this claim.
Yep, I will.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion, to approve, claim number, 38.
I will make a motion that we approve claim number 38 with the, Carlos had mentioned the amounts and the numbers.
You mean, Oscar,
Oscar, okay, sorry, Oscar.
and
With the amended date.
and with the amended dates on the invoice.
And with the amended dates on the invoice, thank you.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded by Director Kelly. Okay, Director Schoenberg, roll call of directors, aye, okay. Director Garcia is absent, Director Gibson,
Fine.
and Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Nyman's an aye. Okay, motion carried 4-0-1. All right,
I have a,
perfect,
regards to
go
claims.
ahead, Oscar.
Tiffany, do you recall what is the last claim that you guys received reimbursement for? Was that claim 34 or 35?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I have to look. Do you want me to go check that out for you right now?
No, if you don't mind just getting back to me like Monday or so.
Okay.
That way I have a record, and that way I can know if I need to follow up with with the reimbursement, to see where the status is on those outstanding claims.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right, then if there's no other discussion, we'll go on to, B, discussion vote update on, just one question. On this, is this the final D? Is this the final, claim that we are gonna be putting in? We've already put in everything else. We've already done the retention and all other claims from Unified and from Bruff, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think-
how about your, do you have any other, like, invoices for whatever engineering you did with this? Are you done with correspondence or?
Yeah, there's always stuff that pops up. So I would say, you know, we need
Well,
to,
I think wasn't the issue, Oscar, that we needed to be done by the 30th of April?
So
And
if I
this should be,
interrupt you guys for a second, I know, Curtis had mentioned that there was probably some admin and correspondence on their side. So we were looking at a claim 39, and that's why I had also reached out to Ruben to see if we could do the walkthrough before the end of the month. So that would be next week, but unfortunately I haven't heard back from Ruben. So if we can't do that walkthrough before the end of this month, then we're probably looking at maybe even submitting claim 40, which I would like to try to avoid and just have that claim 39 be the last one. But it's basically in Ruben's lap to see when we can do that final walkthrough.
okay. So, but it's not a problem as far as our closeout dates or anything, because
No.
I think we're good through what, like June or something?
Yeah, we're good through June 30th. So if we claim 40, we would probably submit at the close to the end of June.
Right.
So we're still in a good place to meet that final date.
Okay, I just want people to be aware that we're getting to the end, so we don't miss, getting any payments in. Cause I'd hate the D to go without being paid. All right, good enough. Moving on to B, discussion vote update on the bridge loan.
So the bridge loan, the first bridge loan request that Tiffany sent, I received notice via email that was paid out. So you guys should be seeing that check deposit for that first request. I know Tiffany asked me if we could submit a second request to include this invoice from Neptune. I did suggest that for this claim and to make it easier on our admin, if we could just do the total amount of claim 38 for the bridge loan request number 2, if that's what you guys decided you guys want to do another bridge loan request.
Okay. So is that what we want to do? So the first bridge loan request is all the progress payments, Tiffany? Is that including everything for Bruff and for Unified?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I guess the question would be, do we want to submit another bridge loan for this amount of this claim that we just approved, which is $13,288.60? And that way we pay these invoices too? I would think so. Okay, can we get a motion to, so in other words,
So you wanna pay these,
yeah, he wants
he
to,
wants to pay them early.
yeah, so we're just gonna pay this whole claim early. So we need a bridge loan to cover this.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we, put in a request for a bridge loan in the amount of
No, 13.
$13,288.60. to cover claim 38
For Ferguson
for Ferguson and
and
D
D.
Jasper.
and which it also covers our, I don't know, did we have any staff coverage on that?
No. There was no.
Okay, all right, do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, motion has been made by Terry Cowling and seconded by Director Gibson. Roll call of directors, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is absent, Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Cowling
Aye.
and Director Nyman's an aye. Motion carried 4-0-1 absent. Okay, moving on, let's see, so I think that's all for you tonight, Oscar.
Well, you guys have a great weekend.
Yes,
Thank you, Oscar.
you do the same. Moving on to 13, discussion vote update on pipeline replacement project. A, discussion vote on engineering design. D, did you want to say anything on that? I think that, Jesse was, you had sent your response?
Yeah, we're 100%. We haven't heard anything from Jesse other than what he told us at the last meeting. So we're essentially 99.99% done with that, unless there's some other comments that, come up. We addressed all Jesse's, so that's all done.
So we're just waiting on him to approve it.
Right.
And I think I found an email that said you guys sent your corrections. I think it was all the way back on March 7th, if I'm not incorrect. So he's had it for,
Yeah, no, we
Right,
brought,
no.
we brought that up in the meeting.
and he said he acted like he would get to it because he acts like he didn't even see it again.
Right,
So maybe we need to find that email and send it back to him and ask him.
yeah, you might want to do that, Dee.
Yeah, I've got a note. Status from Jesse. Okay.
Okay, we can move on. Anything else?
No, I'll CC you guys, on that.
Okay, moving on to B, discussion vote on project application. Anything, Carlos?
No, I haven't heard anything back from Ruben yet. Should be reviewing it already.
Yeah, so yeah, we do know that he's been assigned the project for the pipeline project and he was reviewing, I guess, the application. So that's kind of where we're at. And we haven't heard anything else.
I talked to him.
Okay.
today.
Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
I talked to him today and he said it is still in review and he's thinking it might be a couple of weeks. So
Okay,
he's on it though.
okay, perfect. Okay, 14, discussion vote on standby fee assessment. I think. You do have an update.
Lots of updates.
Okay,
So I'll start from the beginning. So on April 14th, we mailed out the ballots to all the property owners. So the addressed ballots had our physical address in the return
Oh, God,
box,
no.
which is really weird that the post office doesn't like that and doesn't want to deliver it with the return address as our physical. But they said that was an issue. The second issue was the envelope that they returned the ballots to us. They mailed the ballots back, also had our physical address.
Oh, we're not gonna get them.
So, I sent emails, talked to NBS. What they suggested was that we remail a second ballot with all the information corrected on it, let people know the reason why we have second ballots. If that happens, it's gonna change the timeline for the public hearing and the ballot tabulation. But because we already scheduled the public hearing, the board would have to, on May 31st, open the public hearing, open it to comments, and then say this meeting will be continued at a later date for a ballot count. We don't have that next date yet, and we won't have it until they mail the second ballot. What's interesting is I talked
And
to,
who's paying for this cost?
We would have to.
we would probably pay for it, but let me continue. I spoke to Greg today. What's interesting is we have had ballots returned to us, mailed to us. We have actually about 85 in hand right now, filled out ballots. So we're getting them, for whatever reason, even ballots missing postage and incorrect addresses, the post office is giving them to us. I can't tell you that they're giving us 100% of them and that they're not still returning some to the senders. I don't know that. So in light of that information, Greg said we needed to talk to our attorney and see what Alan thinks, because we're getting the ballots. We may not have to do the second mailing. So tomorrow, we're trying to set up a call with Alan and NBS and determine whether or not we're gonna have to send out the second ballot. Because if we don't have to, that'll be a big money saver.
I believe that, but I think, well, we'll see what Alan
We have to
says.
see what Alan says.
But I mean, I think, you know, we could probably run into trouble if for some reason, if it ends up passing, then some people could say, well, mine didn't.
Which the sheer number of responses tells me in my experience that it's not going to pass. Typically, people that are opposed are much more likely to return things. But Greg also said that what we would have to do in addition to remail it is that would be mailed out with a different color. So then when it comes back, we still have to count the new color and the old color and then exclude the ones that
Are duplicates.
duplicates, because that's the only way we can know for sure. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna have to do.
Okay,
Probably, but he wanted to check with Alan just in case we can avoid that.
okay. Well, we don't need to do any kind of vote thing. You're just gonna, if we need to do it, we're just gonna do it.
Yeah, it has
And
to be
then,
done.
and then we'll have to all meet for the public hearing and,
Yeah, literally 10 minutes. Open it, ask for public comment, and then just say the meeting's gonna be continued to another date. So,
Who put the wrong address on?
Well, we all
Yes.
reviewed the packet and nobody, I mean, it didn't even dawn on me to try to find a return envelope thing, so.
Well, they didn't have that in the packet.
But since it's a free thing that they're giving us, they're saying we have to pay it, we're gonna have to pay it no matter whose fault it is. It's not like we paid them to send it out and then they did it wrong.
okay. All right,
Well, I don't think it's free because isn't self-help paying them to do it?
well, the state
State is paying for
funds
it.
self-help themselves out.
And in the agreement, it states probably one mailing.
Yeah,
what, and how many lots are there that we're mailing to?
1,300?
it was about 1,500, I can't remember
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say it was 13, 15.
So about $1,200, $1,300 probably everything.
Okay,
Maybe a little more.
alrighty. Okay,
There was a number
Alright.
of them. I was surprised.
okay, we'll move on, to 15.
Before you move on, Brahma, Tiffany,
Yeah,
Sarah just sent an email right now. I don't know if you got it or looked at it, but she said she's available tomorrow between 9 and 2 p.m. if that works for your attorney.
Okay. Did you want to be on that call, Carlos?
I can be.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
just,
available?
Yeah, just include me. I should be available.
Okay,
Okay, so moving on to 15, vote on rate study, we have not met yet, and we've not heard yet from, and so we're still waiting on that, so. With that, good night, Carlos, and also Dee, you can, go home and enjoy your wife if you'd like.
Well, that'd be a
Well,
welcome
enjoy your
thing. Yeah,
evening.
thank you. I
Or
appreciate it.
enjoy your evening.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Okay,
Sorry.
Good night.
but- Good night, Dee.
Good night.
Okay, do we want to take a brief rest? No?
No.
Okay, moving on. 16, discuss vote on T-Mobile lease agreement.
We sent the last letter that we agreed on in the last meeting, asking them about why they did not and would not uphold Amendment 5. And, they, they don't seem to want to tell us why they don't want to, adhere to Amendment 5. They sent back a thing stating that, that they were going back to Amendment 4, per Amendment 4 contract, blah, 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 blah. And I'm actually kind of done because I don't think, no matter how we put this or how
They're gonna do what they wanna do.
they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
And now
And
they're trying to get a 30-year lease, so they said if we wanna sign a new lease, it's gonna be 30 years.
but
30-year lease, I would say tell them that we're gonna have our attorney and get an actual attorney that does cell phone stuff. 30 years agreeing to their
No, yeah, it's ridiculous.
constant, trying to cheat us is not anybody's idea of enjoyment.
no,
I say we hold off on signing this and talk to, like I said before, talk to Dee, find out who his attorney is that does his cell phone tower, and at least consult with him and find out what he thinks.
yeah, according to the present attorney that's trying to help us with this, he said that would cost us around $500 to meet with this type of attorney. Plus mileage if we wanted him to come up here, cause they would have to come from Bakersfield.
We'll make that up in 2 months though, of getting cheated.
Yeah,
So. Well, I'm just letting you know that,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
that's what,
I'm
kind of
saying,
what
yeah, I
what he was
agree.
saying. So,
We've worked very well with T-Mobile. We haven't given them any grief. When they wanted to change, add stuff up there, I didn't like make them jump through hoops and renegotiate and all that kind of stuff. So maybe
Right.
it's time we have an attorney renegotiate. We may shoot ourselves in the foot, but I don't see how we could. It's cheaper to pay us what they promised us or what we think we should get than to move a generator that's permanent, placed on a slab, and all of their equipment.
So you're saying play hardball with them?
I'm saying get an attorney and have them,
Well,
maybe
because-
not necessarily play hardball, but have the attorney that is well versed in
Because they're
dealing
gonna
with
keep
cell.
Playing games because I think they're just wrong.
Well,
They're
I
not
mean,
mean.
even if you look on the last page of their email, on the first email. In 2021, they were paying us $2,011.15. Then they added their 3% and their 3%,
Which they took away, which I don't
which
see anything. where-
I don't understand why they took that 3%, those two, so it would have been, the two 3% raises or whatever, increases. Then we went to Amendment 5, which added $300 more a month. They've never removed that equipment. Nowhere in Amendment 5,
So what we're
Can
missing
we
is the
find-
2-3% increases.
we're missing two. Yes,
Yeah.
well, this would have been
No,
Because-
it's more
because
than
they-
two, it's
okay.
2020.
The 3%ers, is what I'm
22,
saying.
2023, 2024. In 2024, at the end of 2024, they said we went backwards.
They went
the
backwards to
original
2021.
in
So what I'm saying is they
2021.
did go up to $300, but they just cheated us on the 3% increase.
Right.
That's
so-
right.
All four.
So I think we
Yeah.
can do one of two things. We can either go ahead and sign the stupid amendment
Say it's free
6
money and be grateful.
and
That's it.
we're, I'm sure getting under, but at the end of, it'll be 9 years now, at the end of the 9 years, completely renegotiate and just take the 2,000 or whatever, or we,
Or we renegotiate now and,
yeah.
but I don't know, I mean, I don't think they can stop paying what they're already paying. because their equipment is still there.
Well, they certainly cannot stop paying what they're paying
So,
throughout the negotiation period,
Through-
but. I mean,
So-
is it worth it? How much does that add up to for 3% increases? What's the dollar amount for that?
Look, a few thousand off.
it's about almost $300 a month, not quite. So it's an extra 300 a month is what they decided that we didn't need.
Basically, we were up at 2506.64, and then they negated all that and went back to 2011.15,
Right.
but then added the $300.
Right.
Or about $200 less a month.
So they, more than that, so they said
Yeah.
that they'll give us the difference of the 6 months. They're gonna not count the prorated month, which actually is fine, because they paid us 26.72 that
Right.
month. But basically, they would make up the difference, which is just less of a difference, because now it's the 2011-15 plus
Right.
300 instead of the 25.64.
So basically, we need to know, like Johnny says, do we actually go and get somebody to negotiate a 30-year contract? I mean, if that's what it winds up being, or do we sign the Sixth Amendment and just say, okay, we're grateful and
Well,
thank
if they're
you,
gonna give
and
us 6 months,
we'll take you whatever,
if they're gonna give us some money back, then I don't see why we would wanna go into a fight with them again, but if they're just thinking they could just rip us off entirely.
Well, they are. They-
Still
I mean,
ripping us off
I
of
understand
the
that, I
extra-
understand, I'm just saying,
by those,
they just buy a lesser amount. if
And,
they're
and
paying
how
something.
long is this sixth agreement gonna be good till?
It's 9 more
for
years,
9 more years.
and they can play around again because.
They may want to add something else and they may want to
But,
do this or
but
be.
are they gonna be giving us, 3% raise?
That's what they were supposed to be doing the whole time, supposedly.
Supposedly, but there's nothing in this amendment, the Sixth Amendment.
That really
that states that.
clearly states it. Yeah.
Well, I think we need to go back to them and say that they need to,
Add the 3%.
add the 3% in there.
We have done that. And
No,
they
they're
keep
not.
going, they have,
Well, basically, okay, so the Sixth Amendment says that they're gonna start paying us 2,311.15 instead of 2005, whatever it was.
right,
They're gonna true up the rent from November 27, 2024 to now. And that,
based on that figure,
based on that figure,
right.
that, but the 3% is not in, that is no longer in the Sixth
Right,
Amendment.
so then in other words, what they're wanting is they're wanting 2,300 for 9 years.
I've always looked at it, as just a gift that costs us nothing to have it. That's how I've always looked at T-Mobile. Now,
This is what I would do, I would tell them, I would agree to it and I would send them like one more email and say, you negated to put the 3% increase in Amendment 6. We're willing to sign it, but it does not have the.
So please
3%.
update it with the 3%.
if they'll do that, then I don't see any reason to go.
And then see what they say, and then from there, we can make a decision.
Do we really want a 30-year contract?
No.
No, we're not gonna do the.
We're saying,
That's if we do a new lease.
we're saying right now, the Sixth Amendment, we would sign the Sixth Amendment, which is good for 9 years. But we want the 3%.
And if we went 30 years, could we get more? I don't know. Because I'm not an attorney and
You know,
nobody
then-
seems to know.
I'm sure it's way more.
I
because
know
that's
two
why there's-
people that had cell phone towers down in Gorman, and they lost them both because technology changed. They're just worth nothing anymore. They just stopped even paying for them because the 5G came in and there was different parameters, and now they just have towers that do nothing. So in 30 years, who knows what it's gonna be in 30 years? It
That's
might be
right.
worth nothing in
Right,
5 years or 10
Right.
years, so
so,
I'm not too worried about it.
so,
Do you see, I don't see where this says, so it really needs to say two things. It needs to say when it ends, because I don't see that in the Sixth Amendment and I don't trust them. So it needs to have a date that the Sixth Amendment ends and we renegotiate. Because I don't see the 9 years in here anymore either.
Neither.
I don't see the 9 years and I don't see the 3%.
Well, the Sixth Amendment is taking you back to the Fourth Amendment.
I know, but they can't, but that's where they keep like playing the little game.
And
Because they put an actual cost on the Sixth Amendment. So I think they just need to add the 3%. And it needs to state when.
When the
it-
contract ends,
yeah,
Termination date.
and also add the 3%, ask them for the 3%.
Because this Sixth Amendment is going to govern and control, which the Fifth Amendment was supposed to do, but they just.
they,
Fifth Amendment, we don't have one.
yes.
Right, well, and the thing is if you don't have the 3% in here, then they'll say, well, you signed the Sixth Amendment, and they'll just say, this
So
is,
that's 2000,
yeah, they'll say, this is what you agreed to, and that's it.
yeah, because that's what they're,
And you're
that's
not
why I
gonna get
wanted
any
to do
more.
one. I wanted to do
Oddly
this.
enough, I don't think anybody's sitting back thinking, I'm gonna cheat them out of $200, $300 a month. I think they're not paying any time in this because it's a small tower.
Right,
Because listen to what you're telling them about what they're doing wrong.
right.
Because that's the impression I get from the guy, like, I'm done with this already, I'm tired of dealing,
Yes.
because they have a lot bigger fish to fry than to cheat Fraser Park out of $300. So hopefully they just agree to put the 3% in there in the termination date, and then we get to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, I will talk with
Just tell
the
them,
attorney and tell them that we want that listed in the
Or
Sixth.
does he want us to write it, or does he want to do one more time?
well, let them write it, but
Well,
No, but we've been getting it for free, so.
yes, I will talk to him
Yeah,
and if,
just do it, because I can write it up and then he can just put it on his paper again.
yes, I mean, like, that's, and a lot of it depends on his caseload. And I know that his caseload just kind of got really big right
Because it
now.
just needs to stop going back to the Fourth Amendment, and then the Sixth Amendment needs to just have everything in it.
yeah.
Because that's why it's all through that.
Okay,
Well, I agree, but trying to get them to understand that
Yeah, I
is,
know. But that's not a lot to ask. If we say yes, that's fine. We just need a date when this is renegotiated, which is 2 more 5-year terms from 2024.
right,
And then the 3% added in.
okay, I will talk to him,
okay.
okay, thank
Are
you.
we ready to move on? All right, go on to 17, discussion vote on janitorials.
Table that, we still haven't gotten a second quote,
Okay,
Plain
I'll,
phone
I'll,
check with her.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you have you contacted her?
I'll entertain a motion that we table 17.
I'll move that we table 17 until, the first meeting in May.
I'll second it.
Okay, Terry Kelly has made a motion, Director Gibson has,
Sorry.
seconded, roll call director,
I,
aye for Schoenberg, Director Garcia is absent, Gibson, Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Nyman's and I, 401, 17 is tabled. Okay,
Great.
number 18, review and approve meeting minutes, for the, state update meeting, 4/17/2025.
I move that we approve the the state update meeting minutes for Thursday, April 17th, 2025. With any of the amendments that were not sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may not have been caught or that may need to be corrected.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Director Kelly has made the motion and Director Gibson has seconded it. Roll call of directors, Director Schoenberg, Director Garcia is absent, Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Nyman's and I, 401 absent, motion carried. Okay, discussion vote of forming or dissolving any ad hoc committees. At this point, I don't think there's anything going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go on to 20 future agenda items.
Do you, I wasn't at the meeting, I know you finished the record retention policy. You didn't vote on it, right? Do you want it corrected and then you're gonna vote on it in May? Was that the?
Yeah,
And I think you should bring up that question you asked me, because the board really needs to, okay,
As an agenda item or?
yeah.
Okay. I was just asking her if a lot of the stuff, the records I get are all digital. They go back and forth and all around digital. Do I ever have to print them out and store them in a file cabinet? Or
I
is
said no, but
digital storage enough?
I would say no as well, because it's.
Well, we're trying to get rid of all the paper copies.
Right, right.
Yeah, so if it's digital
but I
already,
think it still needs to be voted as a board,
Okay.
but that wasn't in there.
No,
good idea, yeah.
okay, so we got all the future items on there.
Yep.
So, we'll go on to motion number, 21,
21, adjournment.
for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it.
Okay, Director Kelly has made a motion and Gibson has, seconded it. With, roll call of directors, Director Schoenberg,
Yes,
Director Garcia is absent, Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Nyman's and I. 401, we are adjourned at 5:30.
Everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just had to increase the carbonite.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that ours
Because,
is, that,
you know,
I mean.
we